Welcome to Module 5, Lesson 5. So, the very complex explanation of this lesson is being able to identify all parts of a fraction. I'm going to simplify that a little bit in terminology and just say I can identify the unit fraction. But in order to understand the unit fraction, you need to do a couple things first. And if you can understand all of these other things, you'll understand what the unit fraction is. So, let's go ahead and jump straight into it. So over here, I have a fraction already created for us. And I'm not going to go ahead and read off how many parts there are, how many are shaded yet, because I want to go ahead and go straight down the line of this information, because this is kind of what's going to look similar to your guys' own problem sets. So over here, I'm going to answer the question of how many parts do I have? So I'm not asking for the fraction yet. I'm not saying how many parts are over here, how many over there, not anything. I'm asking one question. How many parts are there? And all you have to do is count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 5 parts here. And now over here is saying, how many of them are shaded? 1. 1 is shaded. 1. So the unit form is asking, basically, how do I write this out in words? And so you always start off with the number. And how many pieces do you have? You have 1 shaded. So 1 what? 1 what? 1 chicken, 1 cow, 1 Hershey's chocolate bar? No. 1, how many pieces do you have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're already here. Or 1/5. So you'd write 5th here. 1/5. And then fractional form, as you use all this information, unit form comes from these two. Fraction form, you can use those as well, but it tells you it here. Remember, you got your numerator on top, denominator on bottom. Your numerator is how many you have. How many are shaded? 1. How many do you need in total to make a whole? 5, or fifths. So you put a 5 there. So this is literally just breaking up the process to make sure you know, where does the 5 come from? Where does the 1 come from? How do you find the unit form? And how do you find the fractional form? That is it. That is basically the main point of this. So we're going to kind of practice this a couple of times. How many parts is how many pieces make a whole. How many shaded is, well, how many pieces are shaded. And then the unit form is saying, how many pieces do you have? I have 1/5. And then 1/5. So we're going to practice a couple more times. So I'm going to go ahead and erase this up over here, just so we have a fresh opening. Let's go ahead and create a new picture here. Let's say I have a box. And in this box, it is cut as such. And I will fill in 3 of them. There you go. Now, let's just go down the line here. How many parts are there? Now remember, I'm not asking how many are shaded yet. I'm not asking for the fraction yet. I'm only asking how many pieces does it take to make a whole? Or how many pieces do I have here altogether? So 1, 2, 3, 4. So how many parts do I have? 4. I have 4 parts. Now how many of these do I have shaded? Well, let's count how many we have shaded. 1, 2, 3. So we have 3 of these shaded. And once again, unit form is you start with how many you get. How many do we have? 3. So 3 what? 3 4s? Because 1, 2, 3, 4, the 4 comes here. Or is it the weird one, the one that kind of sounds weird? It's not 4s, it's 4ths. So 3 4ths. And then the fractional form is you just, how many do you have over how many does it take to make a whole? So 3/4. I have 3 of 4. Now, we're going to do it one more time. I have a feeling this is going to be a relatively short lesson because this is kind of just visually showing you. This is a lot of practice on your end. So just kind of heads up on that. So let's make another one. I'm going to do a circle for this one. We're going to assume that this circle is perfectly round which I know it probably isn't, but we're going to pretend. And we're going to divvy it up a couple of times. I do not want to make it fourth, so there you go. Want to make sure I've done this as accurately as possible. There we go. That's a little bit better. And so now I'm not going to count it yet, but I am going to fill in here, and fill in, say, this one right here. So first thing we need to do is find out how many parts do we have. Make sure you count all the parts. So count with me. We go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So how many parts do we have? 8. And how many of them are shaded? 1, 2, 3. You have 3 shaded. So once again, we're going to write this out as how many pieces do we have? Unit form, you have 3 what? 3 what? 3 eighths. Because that's how many pieces you need to make a whole. So 3 eighths. Oops. My goodness, whenever I spell eighths, I always make a major mistake in it. There you go. 3 eighths, and then 3 over 8. Because you have 3 of how many? 8. So it's kind of like the full idea of this lesson here. The main thing he's doing here is practice. Practice, 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 practice. If you don't get it, watch it again. If you need extra help, your problem set is really, really handy for that. Make sure you get that Zern lesson in as well, because this is a very, very practice-heavy lesson for you guys. So, hopefully you guys learned something, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.